Let's talk about billionaires today. What is a billionaire? It's someone whose total wealth is at least $1 billion. That is a silly amount of wealth. Of course it is. It's almost as silly as I am. You are pretty silly. I guess billionaires are also. A billion is 1,000 millions. I'd be fine with just like 10 millions. I think most people would be. What do you even do with all that money? Well, you could buy a bunch of mansions and yachts and private jets, but doesn't that seem a little excessive? You could buy stocks and bonds.
Boring.
Or you could buy a social media site or a newspaper. Mr. Leonard, I think you mean a propaganda machine. Whatever you say, Tim. I can't believe billionaires actually exist. I can't either. Now I'm starting to see why wealth inequality is such a big problem. Billionaires are like financial celebrities. People like me idolize them because of how wealthy they are. That's kind of weird, Tim. Are you sure about that, Mr. Leonard? Yeah, I'm sure. There's Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. Yes. There's Mark Zuckerberg and Warren Buffett and Mark Cuban. You seem really obsessed with all these billionaires. Of course I am. Well, maybe you shouldn't be. But how is that any different than people being obsessed with their favorite actor, musician, or athlete? I guess that's a good point. I don't aspire to be an actor, musician, or athlete. That's good, because you're never gonna be one. Ouch! But you're right. Sorry, that was kinda mean. But I do aspire to be a billionaire. Of course you do. Now I just need $1 billion. That does seem like a problem. But how am I ever gonna get it? So how do people become billionaires? Why do you want to know? I'm considering becoming one myself. Of course you are. So could you help a guy out? Well, some people become billionaires by starting a business. Entrepreneurship. And if that company becomes really successful, that could make them a billionaire. Okay, but are there any options that require less work? Some people become billionaires through investing. The Warren Buffett method. They put money into things like stocks and the value grows over time. That might work, except I don't have any money to invest. Other people become billionaires through inheritance. What's inheritance? You're gonna like this. They're born into families with a lot of money and they get it from their rich parents. I think that's the option I'm gonna choose. If you do become a billionaire, I hope you don't let all that wealth and power go to your head. Don't worry, I definitely will. So can anyone become a billionaire? Well, I don't like the sound of that. Anyone can aspire to be a billionaire. I definitely do. But no, not anyone can become a billionaire. Well, there goes all my dreams. There are certain things that are out of your control. Like what? Like systemic barriers, opportunities and access, as well as luck and timing. Well, that's unfortunate, but there are also certain things that are in your control. That's great to hear. Like your skills and knowledge, innovation and risk-taking, as well as persistence and work ethic. My work ethic is like my friend group. Imaginary. Even if you won't be a billionaire, you can still work towards financial stability and success on your terms. But what if success on my terms is being a billionaire? Then I really, really hope you get there. I really, really hope I do too. Why do people talk about billionaires so much? Well, they have enormous influence. Influence? Billionaires can shape politics, technology, and media. I'm sure their influence isn't as big as their egos. They can influence politics through lobbying. And don't forget under-the-table bribes. Some of them even own their own media companies. And they definitely make sure they have positive press. People also talk about billionaires due to wealth inequality. Let me guess, they argue it's unfair for such a small group to have so much wealth while many struggle to pay for basic needs? Exactly. I wonder why they argue that. People sometimes talk about billionaires because of their philanthropy. Did you see how much money that billionaire donated to charity?
A charity that they own?
And lastly, people are just interested in this topic. I sure am. It drives engagement. I hope it does here. Everyone has opinions about billionaires. Yes, we do. Some think they're good for society. Who thinks that? While others think they're bad for society. I can see why they think that. Some love them. Really? While others hate them. Of course they do. Some just don't care about them at all. That's how my family feels about me. So what about you? What about me? How do you feel about billionaires, Tim? Come on, Mr. Leonard. Everyone knows guys don't have feelings. Of course. Well, I'm conflicted. Why? On one hand, I respect their hustle. You do? On the other hand, I think some of them have way too much wealth and power. That makes sense. But still, I desperately want to be one.